I'm excited. Y'all know I'm nosy. So I want to find some new people to do their chart. So welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am at Simply Cindy. I am a psychic medium, but I love astrology. I have lots of tools in my basket. I'm a hypnotherapist, a medium, all of it. Anything you can think of, I've done it. As far as tools, right? As far as modalities. I think a lot of us are, we've got we've got Mars turning direct. We've got Venus about to go retrograde, so we've got one coming, one going, and they have that relationship together, right? That synastry going, right? So if you're more Mars prone, like I'm more Mars prone, thank God he does not go retrograde very often because I go through it when he does, but some people are more Venus prone. Um, and then it kind of just depends on your chart. Like, I don't, you could have like a whole bunch of planets in that area where Mars is, or where Neptune is, or where the sun is, or where this moon is, or even where Saturn is. Yeah, in that north node. So, um, I put the link for everyone. I put the link of the full moon in Leo in the description of this live. So you guys can, if you haven't seen that video, I would advise to go see that video. There's a lot of information. I did not put my face on the camera or my face, I did not have the camera on. I didn't have the camera on because I really wanted a channel. All right, I'll look at it. We're going to focus on the full moon, and I'll probably just answer questions about the full moon. So if any of you are brave enough and want to like do this in public, it won't take very long. So, well, I say that, but then I start channeling, and y'all know how that goes. I mean, for those of you that never see me, you won't, but they all know how it goes. I wanted to read for y'all today for those of you that are members. If you're interested in the membership, it's $4.99, and that's where I do my mediumship, the tarot, the all the other stuff. Right, this is mainly for astrology, but we're also reading a book over there. Now, I was going to read the book today, and I've got this like slight headache from allergies, so I want to be able to have that nice voice and be. And I know everybody wants to know what JJ's doing. JJ's the main character in the book. We all love her. And this is the book series. So we've already read the first book. We're into the second book in the first 3 chapters or 4 chapters. And but if you become a member, they're all there for you. You have access to them so that you can listen to my readings and then catch up with us. Um, Reading to me is very special because when I was ill like over a decade ago, when I was really sick and couldn't even lift my arms, was in bed, all that on chemo, all that stuff. My friends, and even as a child, my best friend used to read to me, but my friends would read to me, my husband would read to me, like people would read to me, and that's a very loving gesture for me. So that's like something that I want to give to this group, if you're a member, because we need a time to relax and create and go into that fantasy world, right? So, is your sun, your Capricorn sun, a Gemini moon? Wow, you're a Pisces 29 degrees. Ooh, you are a really evolved Pisces. That's funny. You're learning how to like be you, right? Okay, so let me do. Today is February 11th, but we're going to go to the 12th. Okay. So the outer wheel. Oh, You've got your Chiron return coming. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it because it kind of helps me get into your energy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about your chart. Yes, yes, absolutely. It's the 12th here. Okay, perfect. Well, we have the 13th would be like the full moon for you, right? We've got this full moon going on in Leo at 24 degrees. I know it says 0 degrees right now, but it's 24 degrees that it's going to happen. Okay. So, and that's in Aquarius, Leo. So you were born with Venus in Aquarius at 27 degrees. Girl, you're an old soul. You got 25, 27. Wait a minute, let me look. 27. Yeah, that's funny because your south node is Aries, and I was just talking about how it's hard for me to like uh what makes me happy, what right? And for you it's easy. Except for the identity part of it because you know what you want. It's not hard for you to grasp that. You know what you identify as, but every time you try to, there is this wound here. And you've done this before. This is retrograde. You've done this before. It's like every time I know who I want to be, every time I want to identify as this thing, or I know who I am, people don't accept me, or it's not a good thing, or there's some sort of wound here. Like I'm not allowed to be who I really want to be. Does that make sense? Yeah, and then you got Saturn retrograde here. You have to work really hard at your creation, at your happiness, at your joy. It's funny because you know what it is. It's just harder for you to do it. Where I get so confused about it because it's Pisces. Like, what does make me happy? Oh, today I want this, today I want that. What makes me happy, right? It's a different thing, but it's kind of the same. And then your moon is in your third house. So Jupiter's right there. You should have some luck coming. Um, like for you, it's about like understanding yourself better here in this house. With Jupiter here, it's helping you basically research that, basically open that up about the way that you communicate, right? Yeah. Well, oh, that's funny. You were born with Jupiter retrograde here, but Jupiter is on your moon or right by your moon. It's been right by your moon. It was retrograde, right? So let me not confuse you. You were born with Jupiter retrograde, so you knew how to work that, right? That's all internal. But Jupiter transit, where it's at now, was just retrograde. It just went direct, right? You need to look at that Jupiter direct video that I have because that explains what was going on at that time. But because it's on your moon, you should be getting some luck here. In the work that it's not just because this is the way that you make your money, but the work that you do, you're understanding the people around you. You've had some luck, or you're about to get some luck, right? So that all being said, I want to focus now on because I'm getting into your energy. Um, so I'm going to focus on this full moon. So this full moon has to do with your fifth house. See, it's in your sixth house at 0 degrees, but the actual full moon is at 24 degrees. Okay. So this is your fifth house. This is your creativity. This is what are you creating? Um, you've been thinking about it, but there is something because it has to do with so your fifth and your 11th. So this has to do with networking. How am I going to get this done? There was something in here on this new moon. This is your network. This is your luck. This is your investments. This is your groups. But when you were looking at the new moon in Aquarius that just happened 2 weeks ago, right? Now we're at the full moon. This was like paving the way. And that's why you want to go look at that other video. Paving the way. My thought, my genius was trying to create something to give me some stability. And the reason I say the stability is because Uranus is here, right? We've got a T square with Uranus in this full moon. So this needs, something here needs to change for you. That, and it's right on that freaking Jupiter of yours. You've worked with this all your life, this Jupiter internal, right? But here comes Uranus, and he's about to change that from the thing that you were thinking of. This isn't the only thing, but I'm focusing on the full moon. There is something that you're having to let go of in your fifth house, the way that you're creating it. You're almost like you're tweaking this creativity, this romance. It could be romance. It could be like, I gotta let go. I've gotta like trust. I've gotta, could be that, or it could be like, I gotta let go of this person. I gotta see him for what he is, or her for what she is, or whatever. Right? But there's something here, and it is T squared, which means there's, and it's a fixed T square, which means there's whatever this is that's going to change that may not feel good at first, it's fixed. It's going to come down. It's going to set you to that next level. But you're having to release a perception, release a belief, release of understanding, because it's the moon in Leo, but the sun was in Aquarius. And 2 weeks ago, we were like, what is this thought, right? To become solid, right? It could be a joint venture that you wanted to go with someone or do with an organization. And the reason I say that is because with this Uranus and this fixed T square, it's, you have to look to this. Here's your answer. Your answer is in the eighth house. So whether that answer is, I don't need to do it alone. I am going to do it with somebody. But there's something here that's going to help you change your mind because Uranus is going to move something in your second house. So either it's all money that you come to, it's a contract that's made for you that goes your way. It's something, it's going to feel shock, awe, uncomfortable some, right? Because even if somebody gets $1 million, you can still feel uncomfortable. You're like, oh, freak, I have $1 million. What do I do? Do I tell people? Do I not? What do I do? Like, that's still uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be a bad thing uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable, right? So, but there is something in your perception that you need to adjust and let go, whether it's a belief about your happiness, an understanding about the happiness, the way that you're going to make this happen. Excuse me, I'm getting dry. My throat is getting dry. So, does that make sense to you? Because that's what's happening. So, for the next couple of weeks, something is going to come to your attention. This sun has Mercury here, right? So, there is something within you that knows how to solve the problem of not doing it alone. This is the eighth house in Scorpio, but you got to go deep. Okay. So I hope that helps. Any tip to open my. I'm laughing because any tip to open my heart. Have you seen my heart? I'm just kidding. My heart, it reminds me of the Grinch. Where it opens up a little bit more. I know that's not how y'all see me. I'm just playing. Okay, Alejandro, let's look. Okay. So last time we looked at your transit, Alejandro, was just October. October? Really? I wonder. No, that's not true. I volunteer. Okay, hold on just a second, Mom. Moon, let me get her October, November, December, January. Perfect. Okay. Am I in the right place? We're not in January. Oh my God. February. I'm working on resting bitch face, but still need help in opening the heart department. I mean, honestly, if you work in, if you'll meditate and open that chakra, it will help. It will help. So you have to go in. I've done the chakra meditation for you guys plenty of times. Like there's a video on my channel of all of the meditation, not all of them, but a lot of the meditations. And go back and look at that, and that will, and I'll walk you through opening that chakra. I would consider doing that too. I think I have a playlist that has all the meditations. Like you can look at my playlist and see if you can find the I think the meditations in it where they're all in one thing. So and yeah, the other thing to open the heart, if we're talking about herbs, and this is the stuff we talk about in the membership. So Alejandro, ask me that question when I go live either tomorrow or the next day if you can, because I'll tell you what to do with the herbs. Okay? I'll suggest what to do. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? If you've done those meditations, Alejandra, do them again. You're gonna find you're in a different place. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's look at this full moon. Let's look at this full moon for you real quick though. Okay. What am I looking at here? 24. Let me go back a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm just going back just a little bit so you can, because I can see it all, but you guys can't. Like, I forget that you guys won't be able to see it like I see it. Okay. So I'm trying to get it in the position that it would be, right? We'll revisit them. Last time I did, I was in a different place, wanted more fun and loose, and it happened. Perfect. Yeah. You guys use those meditations. That's why they're there. Everything on there is like for you guys. Use those are tools that I've done them with y'all. So look at the meditations. I know meditations are boring and some people don't like them, but I'm telling you, they have binaural beats, some of them behind them. They'll You don't have to think. It'll just I'll walk you into that through my voice, or we have beats to help you with just the music. Like use those meditations. These are tools. What are we gonna do with them? Remember, some of you have that 12th house. This is, I told you, Pluto's in my 12th house. Like, I know all this stuff, but am I going to use it? Am I going to do it? Am I going to, like, um, for my happiness, for my joy, right? That goes for everybody. You have a 12th house. You have a way to connect. You have this knowledge now. Are you going to use it? Okay, so yours is happening in that 4th house and that 10th house, right? So did you get some word news about like your job, or were you in 2 weeks ago, were you looking at that and how you wanted to change that? Because that is that sun in in Aquarius when we had the new moon and that sun in Aquarius in 9 degrees, right? So now we have the full moon. So there's something about that that you're having to relook at a perception, a way, a distinction. Yes, tomorrow I'm getting a promotion of sorts. Perfect. So that's what this, and it's on that day, it's on the 12th. That's perfect. So there's going to be some adjustment, some way of thinking, right? It's going to change because that's your second house. So that makes sense as to more money, the way that you make your money. Uranus comes and changes it, right? Because you're aware, because you've been working on this consciously, because you listen to me and you're in this group and you're like, I know that's coming, I know this is it, blah, 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 blah. You're a little ahead of the curve, right? So, but remember, Uranus likes to shock and awe. So if there is something that is holding you back, or you feel like you don't have freedom in your value or in the way that you make the money, he's going to come in and change that, especially with this T square. But when he does, don't get upset. Okay. Remember, look to the, so for you, it would be the seventh house and eighth house. Okay. So it's really the eighth house more so. Look to the eighth house, the partnership, the contract you're going to go into. That's the key to whatever it is that you're trying from here to bring forth, to manifest, to have your life. There's a change in your perception, a thing that you need to let go of, uh, or transmute. I call it transmutation. So transmute, understand, so that you can get to this dream that came from this 10th house. So for you, you believe that the dream would come from your work, your reputation, what you did out in the world, right? And it is connected to this Uranus with this fixed T square. Okay. The answer is look here. So either look to this partnership that moves into a contract. Okay. Does that make sense? See how hers is a little different because she's got two houses, right? So she's got a Libra seventh house, but she still has Scorpio in here. So you have to honor this part. But it is about the contractual coming together to be able to reach this, and this. This has to do from where you came from, how you have excelled. I hope that you're seeing that with the spoon here. How you're much different than you used to be because your belief has changed, because you understand that just because you came from this does not mean that it defines you. Okay? That's exactly what's happening from an external company to the main one contractually. Perfect. There you go. You see how whatever's happening to her, you can see it in her chart. This is why I love astrology. This is why I do this. I get excited because I'm like, yes, see, it's right there for you. It's validation for you, right? It's right here for us. We have tools. 12th house, ninth house, tools. What are we going to do with them? Right? So, okay. So who was next? Mom Moon, right? All right. Alejandra, thank you so much for letting me do your chart in the open, but remind me about the herb stuff when we go into the membership, which I think I'm probably going to do tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but again, y'all heard me. Uh, Mom, I, Mom Moon, I think I have your chart already, right? You're welcome. Yeah, you got a lot of good things coming, Alejandra. I know it's been really bad for a lot of us for a while, but you got good stuff. Okay, does this look like you? Um, Sun Aquarius, wow, Moon Taurus. You really battle yourself sometimes. And you have that Oh yeah, you got like when it comes to other people and your contracts and your money, you're like, You got that Mars and that moon. You're like me, you have Mars and moon right next to each other, which means you always come out on top. With me, it's in the 10th. So, like, my jobs, my career, whatever, I always go out on top. Like, I just rise. That happens with your contracts and with when you meet someone and then y'all take it further. Like, you come out on top every time. It's funny, you got that Saturn. So, you got Saturn. Yeah, that Saturn affects you, your sun. So, every time you want to shine, every time if you want to shine, because your sun's way down there where you're like, I don't really want to be seen, right? And it's an Aquarius, which already you want to isolate. And you do better when you keep the secrets. It's funny. Ooh, yeah, and you got Pluto in that first house, Scorpio. Ooh. Oh, yeah, your life is about hidden secrets coming out, keeping them hidden. So you know how to be, because your south node is 10th house. Mom, you're very psychic. Yeah, yeah, you're very private. Pluto, first house. Aquarius, Sun, fourth. This is the most private part of you. For any of us, the fourth house is the most private part that we do not share with maybe one people, maybe no people. Okay? You have Saturn there, which really tests you. And your sun is down here where it's like, nope, I don't really want to show myself to people. I don't really want to. And then you have this Pluto that you were born with in this first house where there's a lot of hidden secrets. But even though, and you feel like that's the way to go because this moon, Mars, it keeps you sharp and it always brings you to the top when dealing with other people. So not only are you, so you're really psychic, but hopefully you pay attention to your gut feeling because it's usually right. It's usually right. Like you're very connected to it, especially because that south node is in Cancer. So where I see, right? Uh, or I guess you would say you're more empathic, right? So you're more empathic, but you are psychic, but you interpret it as an empath. You feel it. Like you're that type that's like, I don't know why it's that way. I just feel that, and that's it. Like, and you're right. You're right. Okay. So let's look at the yeah. You just know you're very psychic. You can develop that psychicness more if you want, but you're very psychic and you're very empathic. Very empathic. And whatever you do, you have a lot of luck in here. See how you want to be private, but you're supposed to be over here. You're supposed to be out in the world. It's almost like me where I'm like, can I just go to the mountain and like never talk to people again and I'd be perfect? But my life path is like, you don't get to do that. All right. Okay. I just wanted to get in your energy now. Let me look at this let me look at this transit. Let me look at this full moon in Leo. Okay. So, full moon, go back. I'm just taking it back to like where it's at 27 degrees. I mean 27 at 24, sorry. Okay. So, um, ooh, Mav, have you? Well, oh, I haven't done that one yet. When I get that one out, Pluto in the fourth house transiting the video you need to look at. You've got your north node here, and the only reason I'm mentioning it is because this is where the sun and Mercury are right now, which is right on top of your sun. Which, yeah, you're about to have, or you just had your birthday, right? So, a couple of weeks ago, there's something that's connected to you with where you came from, with your idea and belief of understanding of who you really are and want to be in this fourth house that has been really coming out for you, right? It's been really on your mind. It's been really focused. And then there was a point, probably a couple of weeks ago, where you were finally getting it together about how you want your dream. What do you want as the dream, right? Like, I almost feel like you were finally deciding, right? And so, with this full moon, whatever this thing is, whatever this way of life that you want, whatever, I feel like maybe there was some shame and stuff that was coming about. Like, I don't want to be like these people. I don't want to do this thing. I just want to be me, right? But whatever this is, whatever way of life this is, whatever you were trying to, starting to manifest, right? There needs to be an understanding about how people see you. And this is the way that you're going to get some clarity here about how people see you that's holding you back from what you really want to do. And it's further connected by this. Remember, this is a T square. It is connected by this Uranus. So you are trying to figure out moving forward, because you are such a private person, but moving forward, types of relationships that you want, the way that you want the relationships, right? But it has to do with this fourth house and this 10th house. There is something here that's trying to form from this thought that you had, from the way that you wanted it, but something's going to change here, right? So if relationships feel like, I miss you, Wendy. I so wanted to call you. I've just been so busy, and I know you have too. I know. Sorry. Wendy says, I miss you, Cindy. So sorry to be MIA, but crazy times, my friend. Crazy times. How do I get a chart reading? Exactly. um, yes, I tend to keep myself to myself unless my friends or family. Yeah, but there's a change going on here because, first of all, you had to decide how much you wanted the relationships and then which way that you wanted them, because you do isolate yourself. But there is something here that you're changing about actually coming out, having to do with this, really the way that you have relationships. Because here's the thing for you, is that you see people, you're like, you feel them. I'm getting this image of what I do. It's like you feel them and you know where that path is going with them before you even, like, it's almost like you already know that, you already see it when they're going to betray you. You already see it when they're going to abandon you. You already see it. But actually for you is you feel it, right? Yeah, I do this a lot when I'm dating because I'm like, I already had the relationship in my head. It's not going to work. Bye. Like that, right? I know that sounds callous, but it's like that, right? It's like you already know where this is going, even if you just met them. So what that's caused you to do is be isolated and not go and not do, right? But what you're trying to understand and know is that just because you know, if you're here to experience, and there is a way to evolve this. So it's almost like, remember that it's not set in stone, and that energy can change because they have choices and you have choices. But just because you know, don't get like too comfortable in the fact that you know, and so comfortable in the fact that you know that you decide not to have relationships because you've done that already. You've been doing that for 5, 10 years. So it's time for you to like engage again. Yeah. I know it's a hard balance. I know. I know. But you have genius in you, and this wouldn't be tugging at you if it wasn't true for you. There's genius right here with this Mercury Sun. Genius. There is a way to do it, but there is a perception, there is a belief, there is an understanding that needs to be shown to you to make the adjustment. And Uranus is here to help with that, right? But where do we look? We look to Scorpio in your first house, which is you, first, second, right? This is you. How do I want to do it? Let me look within. Let me look deep. It's just like the little information that I gave you. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can see it psychically or feel it empathically, it doesn't mean that it's actually going to come out that way. You're seeing one line of one potential, and you're not giving the universe and your life enough credit. I know. I know. That's why I said when so for the transit Pluto's here, this is baggage. This is like psychological BS that Pluto has been putting on you, right? And with Pluto being in your first house, you need to watch that video. I don't know if you have, but watch that video, watch it again because you're coming out of this. You're going to heal this. You're going to align this so that you can do this, right? But it takes this genius part of you, this some message is going to come through, some understanding is going to come through as you pivot to change your way of how you want to be seen out in this world. Okay? So, I hope that helps. I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me do this. Y'all know that I'm nosy as heck and I want to see what's going on, especially when a new moon and a full moon is out. Please go watch that video. Thank you for sharing this out. Thank you for liking. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye. Love your face, Tina.